Hello fellow old schoolers. So this is the final match between the blue and white control deck and my Candleflare setup. And he's on the play, having lost the two previous games, starting out strong here with a Mox Sapphire and a Jet and a Tundra. And I have a Mox as well. And trying to get it in to get the Candelabra of Taunos in play, but he has learned the deck by now, so he just removes it immediately. Oh, and following up with an Old Man Up to Sea. So I haven't seen those guys before in this deck, so he has creatures in it, I suppose. They're pretty nice actually against me because they can block the factories or take them. So we put out a Mana Flare, and at my end step he cast Ancestral Recall. And attacking with the Old Man. So we actually need those Mazes of Ith now. I'm not sure if I've sideboarded them out in this third game. So we try again with the Candelabra of Taunos. And he tries to counter it, but we kind of insisted on it, so we counter him right back. And there's a Power Surge, so now we have a combination going with Mana Flare, Candelabra of Taunos, and we can untap his lands. But he'll have none of it. Using the Blue Blast to remove the Power Surge. So the offensive is still his, as he has that Old Man that can punch each turn. So he follows up with a copy artifact of a Candelabra of Taunos here, and attacks me again. It's actually he was considering untapping my lands, but then realizing there was no Power Surge that would only help me. So he's tapping a bunch of mana here. I'm not sure what he's about to do. Okay, so he mana shorts me in my upkeep. Pretty damn annoying. Those mana shorts. I don't usually see them played. Well, Jacob back in Denmark plays with them as well, but it's not a usual game we have. Okay, so we use a Candelabra just to get double blue or double red mana untapped. I think I could have waited with that. I mean, it can actually be done as a response to a spell, so by waiting, you're actually hiding that you have 2 blue mana ready. Okay, so he attacks again. I'm at 14 life now. So this just goes to show the difficulties my setup have against a creature. No factories, no Maze of Ith, and not a lot of removal. Imagine if this was like an aggro deck I was up against. I need to do something about that. Okay, so we're trying to putting out a Power Surge again. It's actually a debatable play because he has a Candelabra of Taunos as well. So, and I'm at way less life than he is, so we can just sit and untapping each other's lands, and I'm not sure if that's a good play actually. But he decides to remove it with a counterspell, saving me from my own error. That was nice of him. Okay, I'm considering something here. Okay, so using the Transmute artifact for the first time on the Mox, trying to melt it and make it into another Candelabra. So now we can one-up him if we ever get one of those Power Surges out. And we also have, in effect, 3 Mana Flares out for ourselves. Because we can just keep on untapping the lands and tapping them again. And then he plays another copy artifact of a Candelabra of Taunos, so now we're at Candelabra parity, and I can't one-up him. And he also plays a Demonic Tutor, attacking me again, and then he plays Time Twister. I'm not sure about that play actually. We're moving forward here because I didn't want to wait for us to shuffle the deck in the graveyard. He's actually giving me outs at this point because well, I'm not a fan of using a draw 7 when you're ahead if you haven't got an Unreal Dreams out or something that can combo with it. or black Wises or something. But still no Mace the Fifth and still no Factory from me. That old man has just put in a ton of work at this point. Okay, that's his cousin, and he comes over for another swing. But I mana drain. I try to mana drain the old man as he plays it, but he counterspells my mana drain. So it's just two two control-ish archetypes going up against each other here. Oh, and there's a Time Walk in hand. That's a lot of damage from those old men. It's a bit of Striping his Tundra. It's not the best feeling just getting your ass kicked by old men. So we remove one of them. At least there's that with a red blast. No, it was a fireball, I think. Yeah, it was. There's still one out. Oh, and he puts in a Spirit Link on it. It's actually a pretty safe play considering how difficult it is for me to remove creatures, so it seems, and then he Time Walks. So now he just gets a bunch of life back. And he probably has, yeah, he has countermeasures to protect it. And adding insult to injury, he steals my mugs. I think, I'm beginning to think that the theme of his deck is stealing the other guy's stuff. That wasn't very old archetype back in the 90s. Using control magic, steal artifacts, and Old Men of the Sea, and doppelgangers, stuff like that. Here it works wonders. Putting on a Mana Flare, untapping 2 lands. I think, yeah, I'm waiting and untapping them again, just to have, yeah, so you can just tap 1 land now and get out the Icy. So now we have 2 blue or 2 red mana up, and we can also use the Icy to tap that Old Man of the Sea. So at least that'll mitigate, or that'll stop the life drain at this point from that Spirit-linked old man. And he goes into his attack phase and I tap it. He has to remember to do this, and I tell him this at this point, because if he doesn't attack or go into his attack phase with the old man, I can actually tap one of his City of Brass at his end step. So he has to make sure I'm using my IC on the old man all the time. Okay, putting out an island and doing nothing. So it's a bit of a standstill here. He's probably kicking himself for not saving that steel artifact at this point. Would have been far better for him to take the Icy. Okay, so he removes the Mana Flare in order to stop my Candleflare combination. And tries to attack again, and I tap it. So now those candelabras are a lot less interesting. I should use 2 mana here. Yeah, I do. There's no Mana Flare anymore. So I probably copy the Icy Manipulator at this point, I'd imagine. Okay, but he counters it. No, he power sinks it. So we had 1 land in our back pocket, putting that down so I can still stop the Spirit-linked old man from getting in. That's always something. Okay, so pays a Tundra and then he balances. So I have to remove a single land, but I tell him that he has to remove his old man now because I have no creatures. And he hadn't really thought of that. So I just allow him to take the card back. It would not have been a good play, I think. Yeah, so he attacks and I tap it. Okay, let's see if we can get something to remove it with. Our factory, anything. Nothing. Also it seems. So he gets down a factory now. So now he has 2 attackers and can get in with one of them. And mind you, he also has a Candelabra of Taunus here. So he can actually pump itself and then attack. Okay, I'm putting out another Candelabra of Taunus, but without a Mana Flare it's not that much fun. Or an Icy, a Mace of Ith, or anything. Okay, so we put out a Power Surge, so at least we can just one-up him now, but he removes it immediately. I'm having a really hard time getting into the game here. Okay, so he attacks with both, and I tap the Old Man of the Sea before he goes into his attack phase, and he gets in with the factory. So 6 points of life now. Need to make something happen. Oh, okay, we get a Red Blast and can finally remove that Old Man. Goes into his attack phase and I tap it, but then I come to think of something that he can actually use his Candelabra of Taunus here, because as far as I understand, he can I have to tap it when he declares that he goes into his attack phase. So I tap his Mistress Factory, and then he can untap it with a Candelabra of Taunus, and probably actually pump it and then attack, because he have 2 Candelabra of Taunus. I'm not sure about this play. Maybe I'm making him cheat here, but as far as I can see, that's how it probably works. So that's 4 points of damage right there, and that's game. I can't stop him with an Icy while he has those Candelabra of Taunus out. So that's 2-1 for the Candelabra deck here. Next up, I have no idea what I'm gonna play or what I'm gonna play with, but we'll keep them rolling. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.